Welcome to the Voice of Grace Lightlooper and Cycle Witch podcast. I am Grace Lightlooper, a multidimensional vocal channel, singer, and soul activation coach. Through my work, I guide souls to unlock the power of their voice, connect with their soul's frequency, and reactivate their ancient magic. I run transformational online and in-person containers and online voice activation courses. All my offerings can be found on my website. Now, this magical episode, as ever, is co-hosted with my soul sister Beth. She is an artist, a mystic, and a healer, and she goes by the name of Cycle Witch. On today's episode, we talk about resistance and limiting beliefs. And Beth ends up actually taking me through a process to uncover further some of my deep-rooted beliefs.
Oi, oi.
Good morning, afternoon, or evening.
Hello, everybody. Gonna put my best radio voice on.
Yes. Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 8.
Episode 8. How have we done 8 already?
Yes. By the skin of our teeth as well. I'm not going to pretend we've got it all together, Beth. I'm going to be honest about the fact that we yesterday went, shit, we haven't got any podcasters. Maybe Tuesday, we better record one.
Well, yes. We were quite prepared at the beginning.
We were. We did loads of batch recording, didn't we? I think because we had a backlog of life to talk about.
Yes.
And then...
And let's be very clear. It's not that we have nothing to talk about now.
Oh, God. No, it's just life is life-in.
Life is life-in. We are in the springtime.
Yes!
And
I've got a bit of colour to my face.
Oh. Life is ramping up. I can feel like we are definitely stepping out of that winter energy now.
Yes. I was referring to the fact that I've been sitting in the sun loads when I was talking about my face colour in case.
Yes. No, I understood.
What? Yeah, okay, right, good.
Haven't been sitting there seriously pinching your cheeks just before we go live, right?
Slapping around the face.
Oh, maybe we should do that. Let's just slap each other before we record.
No, I'll put that on the maybe list.
Oh dear. Okay. So hello. Episode 8.
Hello to everybody. Hello to you, Cycle Witch. Hello to me, Lightlooper.
Woohoo. Do we have anything we wish to share before we get into this? Because I know once I start, I am not going to stop.
Yeah, today's a poignant day. Today's a special day because we're holding our first women's... I was like, she's going to say women's circle, or she's going to say Temple of She.
Uh-huh.
Darn it! Temple of She women's circle.
Yeah.
And oh my gosh, I'm so excited. It feels it's flowing so beautifully.
It really is.
Yeah.
So, today we're gathering the women.
We are.
And that'll be episode 1 of many.
Episode 1 of the circle.
Yes.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. We've got big visions. We've got big visions. Ones which we have put deep prayer into that we're not going to share yet because they're very sacred, but they're very big, they're very powerful. And when it starts to manifest in the physical, we are going to be ecstatic to share it with you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. So today, on this fine podcast, I wanted to talk about how we limit ourselves with the beliefs that we are told throughout our lives, and also tell ourselves as a result of that. So having had some really interesting conversations with various different people, it just feels like a theme that has come up a lot this week. But it's been there tingling in the background as well for a long, long time. So basically, I just really wanted to explore within myself, and hoping that others get the opportunity to explore that, how powerful these thoughts and ideas about ourselves are, because we are brought up in a society, in a culture, in a world that tells us we have to be a certain way. And these are so powerful that we live incredibly unconsciously of them.
Yeah.
I know that I have had to fight through a lot of them, and I know that there will be so many more that come up. But I think the thing that's really hit it for me this week is all the power that they hold in limiting us. When you can flip that, all of that power immediately transfers.
Mm-hmm.
And it just feels like that is really starting to hit home now.
Right.
Really starting to hit home. And for me, this all started as I was leaving my marriage, as I was coming out as queer. And I'd heard about things like CompHet, which is compulsory heterosexuality, which is something that, you know, we grow up and we're from our very earliest ages told, oh, when you find your man, you know, it's always going to be a man. It's always going to be this way. It's always going to be that way. And, you know, it's everything down to fairy stories. You know, not every, but most little girls, they're told you're a princess and one day you'll meet your prince. So there's so much messaging in our lives all the time about who we are allowed to be.
Right.
And it's this incredibly powerful but incredibly quiet way of limiting us through society. And these messages come from everywhere. They come from media. They come from just the general community and societies that we live in. They come from our parents and our generational belief constructs. And so when I started to leave my marriage, started to come out as queer, I had a few things I really had to address really early on. And some of them were to do with my body image. I was a child of the 90s. I was told that to be beautiful, you had to be stick thin and look like, what's her face?
Kate Moss.
Kate Moss.
Yeah.
I am not built like Kate Moss. And so I had to work through a lot of things to do with my body, about how I was supposed to look and act and be. I had a really big hangover over the fact that I've got big hands for a woman, or big feet for a woman, and broad shoulders. And I've always been weirdly very strong.
Yeah.
And I've had a wonderful family, and my mum has always been amazing, and she's always said to me, you're never going to be a model, but what you are is you are built like an Amazonian. You are strong, you are powerful, you would have been a warrior. This is who you are. You need to recognize that and not hate on it. And I'm so thankful to my mum for that, because it set me up in really good stead to just be that in more comfort than I would have been if I'd been continuously told that I needed to be skinny by absolutely everybody.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you know, there's still so much other messaging from everything. So I had to really work through some of those beliefs. So that was like my phase one about myself and my body. But as time's moving on, I'm realizing there is so much more to this. You know, you're told you need to be, if you're a mother, you have to devote your whole life to being a mother. And I know me and you had, you know, we've had so many conversations where we've said, I have guilt for wanting to do things for myself outside of my motherhood.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I feel like we worked through those really well. We kind of, I think I actually remember saying something along the lines to you of, we want to raise these amazing children to be, you know, independent, confident, happy, joyful people. If we show them that living exclusively for them and through them is what we're supposed to do as women, how are they going to be their full potential? Because we're just showing them the same things that have been happening for generations. So I think we cracked out of that quite well.
Yeah.
I feel like it gave me time to kind of pause and be like, no, I need to show my daughter what it is to live your life where you seek your own joy, so that she learns that that is a habit that is really, really powerful.
Yeah.
But it even comes down to things like, as an artist, I'm always told, well, if you're an artist, you must be poor.
Yeah, that's a big one, isn't
It's
it?
a massive
Until
one.
you die.
Yeah, until you die. And then you can be famous and have
it's
lots
like
of money.
that joke's reiterated so much as well, and it's like, let's stop with that now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I'm at this point now where I'm like, okay, I need to seek out all of these limiting beliefs and flip them on their heads. Because the moment we stop going, the moment we notice these scripts in our heads and we start to go, where's that come from? Is that from me? Did that come from society? Is that part of my culture? And the power we have to flip them in the other direction is crazy.
Yeah.
So I think I'm still pulling that apart, but I feel like I'm in the process of starting to really, really unravel that and start to explore what it would be if all of those were opposites.
Oh, I like that. Oh, that's
Yeah.
really just, woo. Yeah.
You know, who the hell is telling me just because I'm an artist I can't be successful? Who the hell is telling me because I don't drive I can't go anywhere? Who's telling me that I can't play an instrument just because I never had formal training as a child? I like things like when I was studying my GCSEs, when you were choosing your GCSEs, usually at my age you had to choose one from each section. So you had to do maths, English and science, but then you also had to do a language, a humanities and various things. And when they got to me choosing my GCSEs, they said to me, we don't think you will ever have a chance of passing a language GCSE. So we want to double you up on a technology instead. And however much in that moment I was so grateful, because really I'm not completely sure that I would have been able to do it. But at the same time, that's a message I've carried for the whole of my life.
Right.
Since that point, you'll never be able to speak another language.
That's so interesting. Because I instantly think of light language with that. And it's like, what if that is also part of this other block that we've been carrying? Because I had the similar thing with languages. I went to a language school, which is hilarious now because I'm like, I'm all about the language, like light language. But yeah, wow.
Yeah. So yeah, I wanted to just explore within myself, with you, and on the podcast, with the hope that whoever's listening takes the time to pause and really seek out what limiting beliefs they are currently functioning under.
Yeah.
And how they can internally flip them.
Right. What would you say would be the best practice for like having an awareness around the program, like around the limiting belief? Like what would be a really good self-inquiry kind of question to find them, to highlight them?
Okay, so that's very interesting. I think the way that I do it is something will come into my field of view, like this idea. And I don't I'm not the kind of person who sits down and goes, right, I'm going to do all of this right now.
Yeah.
I like to just carry it around with me and start to notice. So when I start talking with somebody, when I start doing anything, if I start making excuses over why I can't do something, in that moment, I want to be able to sit with it and go, why am I limiting myself? Why am I saying I can't do this thing? And it's like carrying a rock with you, having the idea with you.
Right. I love
and
that.
Just every now and then something will come up and you're like, okay, right, let's address this. And I think it's just a case of noticing and then feeling into that. There's so many great ways to do the flipping.
Yeah.
You can literally, in the moment of saying, oh no, I can't do this because of X, Y, Z, and go, wait, hang on, no, let me change my language around that. I think a lot of it is to do with language and internal dialogues.
Which is funny because that relates to the thing you said about language.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. Words are fucking powerful. Language. Words are so powerful, and I think changing the way you use them is really, really, really powerful. But you've got to be able to notice first.
Yeah.
And I think that takes time. And it's like just bearing it in mind as you go about your day-to-day life and starting to pull them up. Obviously, we love a bit of journaling.
Yeah.
It's always nice to kind of set time aside to really feel into them. I'm very much a live your life and then gradually things fall into where you want them to be person. But there is so much power in sitting down intentionally and mining for those things.
I was going to say digging deep.
Yeah.
Looking for them.
And also, writing things out, saying, I'm an artist and I can earn lots of money. I am a mum and I can live a fulfilling life following my own dreams.
Or even changing it to I am, like making it so present.
Exactly, yeah. I'm, like I said, I'm still figuring all this out. I do not get this perfect by a long shot.
We're all figuring it out, babe.
Exactly. But yeah, it's just something that's really come up for me, and I'm really starting to notice these things. And in our most recent ceremony, we cracked into a bit of the music thing as well, where I was not
Oh right, yeah.
given the opportunity to have any kind of formal training on an instrument, and had always been told, no, you're no good at music, or that's not for you, you've got other interests, so you're not allowed to do this too. Isn't
that fucking wild? Like, it's so crazy that would even be like a notion that, in you saying that, I just realized, like, as a kid it was either art or music. I could only focus on one at a time, because somewhere along the line there had been this limit of like you
that comes back to the GCSE choosing as well.
Oh fuck yes,
because you were only allowed to do one art, so you could either do drama or music or art. You couldn't do all three.
Literally, you've hit the nail on the head. That is exactly where that program come from.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I love you so much. Like, by the way, guys, this is the power of sisterhood right here, right now. That was a live situation where that clarity just comes through, like that answer, thank you. Oh my gosh.
And why are we telling children they can't do it all until they're older? I'm going to go into a school rant.
Go.
But yeah, why do we, allow our children to explore these things on a minor level through their childhood in school, and then they get to a certain age and you go, no, you've got to choose one, that's it. And
it's going to be like 5% of the curriculum.
Yeah.
Like, I remember art. Oh my God. So we had like 7-day cycle on rather than a weekly thing at our school. And I, to be honest with you, have blocked out from my memory most of school because it was so traumatic. One day it'll come back to me. But what I do remember is art, the block of 2 art lessons. And all week, like I feel a bit emotional just thinking about this, because my whole week will be centered around me being just so excited for art. And like, it was like my reason and my purpose, and the one thing that I lived for, and that gave me hope and happiness. And the rest of it is like I just had to work through to get this like reward of like art lessons. And it was just, I remember that so clearly. And it just being such a small, tiny part of the curriculum. And
Thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome. Thank you for reminding me about it.
So, I mean, If you're lucky, you might have parents who would send you to like a specific arts school or something if you're that way inclined, or, and, we're artists, so we're biased towards that. But there are children out there who are passionate about maths and science and have absolutely no interest in art, and their art lesson is their hell point of their week.
Yeah, that's so true.
I'm not going to go into a major school rant. Yes. So, limiting beliefs. Grace, would you like to share anything that's come up for you now or previously? I know you've worked through so much of this already that you have noticed has been a self-limiting narrative in your head.
Do you know what? I'll share the biggest one that comes up for me at the moment, because it's the one I'm sharing with you a lot anyway. And it's, I feel quite tender today actually with little Gracie. And it is the narrative of what goes up must come down. And my God, does that one cycle round every ceremony, every opportunity that I experience success, joy, happiness, ecstasy, love. There is that narrative that it won't last and you don't deserve it. And there's a lot wrapped up in it. It won't last, you won't deserve it. Don't get too high, because when you get low, you'll get too low and you won't be able to handle it. And it's so much from my childhood, and so many different grown-ups around me would tell me the same story. The doctors would tell me, the teachers would tell me, my family would tell me the same story over and over again. And this is why it's such a difficult one for me to, at the moment, really sit with. And as you said, like, I've come through so many stories. I've got so many success stories that I could just go on and on and on about, and I do on my social media. But this is a really tender one, because it's one that's present for me right now, and I feel like to show up honestly and authentically, it would be a good thing for me to share where I'm at right now. And it's that story, it's that narrative, it's that little childhood version of me that has been told so many times that I've got something wrong with me, that I've got a mental illness, because I experience such vast levels of joy and such vast levels of pain. But it is my absolute understanding that this is just the human capacity to feel, that we're not supposed to contain it all into this little box of I'm a little bit okay and I'm a little bit not okay. We're supposed to experience the full spectrum and be held through that. And unfortunately, no one understood that when I was younger, so no one knew how to hold that. And this is why I am so equipped to hold people through this. But it's that narrative for me of, I guess, dealing with the burnout that only shows itself because of a program, because I've been told it by so many different people that this will happen, this will happen, this will happen, this will happen. So it keeps happening, or it keeps trying to happen through me. And it particularly gets me with burnout and with exhaustion. That's how it kind of presents itself the most. And that's how it tries to kind of get my attention of like, hey, this program's still running. What are we going to do about it? But it's a double-edged sword, because it's like the exhaustion that burns me out for me to then have to push through that to then address it is like, whoa, it's a very, very, very deep-rooted program that has been attempted to be set in my system, but I'm very aware of it, and I'm constantly just showing it so much love, and with your help as well, just holding me through those moments of burnout, and just reminding me that essentially it's not mine. That little Grace is is confused by all the stories and the narratives that just aren't true.
So in those moments of burnout, are you able to notice when it tips from genuine tiredness from being active and ecstatic? Not that ecstatic states automatically lead to tiredness. They don't. But we all have physical bodies. We all need to refuel and re-find our centers.
Yeah, of course. There is balance.
Yes.
There is balance, yeah.
Are you able to notice retrospectively when it's a regulated, honest exhaustion and tiredness to when it's the narrative playing out?
Yeah, and as soon as you're saying it, I'm like, absolutely 100% yes, I can totally see, because I feel like what I've always described as like normal tiredness, where I would just rest and just be peaceful resting. And then this feeling of burnout is such a specific feeling of like brain fog. And like, I've actually been diagnosed with ME by the NHS. Like I've got like an actual diagnosis of it from like 20 years ago, because that's what they believe it to be. But as soon as I got that, I was like, no, this isn't right. This isn't true. It's another version of spells that get put on us as misdiagnoses. And so I notice this feeling is not tiredness. It's not tiredness. It's like, yeah, like I said, it's like brain fog, and it's confusion, and it's like extreme lethargy. And it's also at times that don't make sense.
Okay.
Like, you know.
Yeah.
But as soon as you were saying it, I was getting the awareness that that what actually triggers it, which is interesting, because it's when you said it that I was like, oh, okay, I know what the trigger is. And it's so paradoxical, because the trigger is be careful because you're going to burn yourself out. And it's that thought that comes in, and it's like, well, that creates the burnout. So then now I'm like, well, burnout is just a imaginary construct then. It's not even real. Because what that's my perception of burnout, by the way. I know there's physical things that happen in the body, like the adrenals get fatigued and stuff. Like I am experiencing things like that in my physical body at the moment, like low iron levels and stuff like that, which I'm working on a physical level. But that's not what this is about. This is about the energy, and this is about the programming, because this happens when the fear enters. And that voice of fear is, whoa, 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 be careful. Calm down. You know, we all hear it as kids, calm down. And it's that energy that brings on this sudden, like, it's almost like an ungrounded, like whoa, like unsteady feeling.
So do you think that if you were to notice that in the moment that you're experiencing that, you would be able to flip that into a powerful, positive narrative? And how would you go about that? I would like to do that, because this has brought up a lot more clarity for me, and I would like to work out the phrase, I think. And I think that's what I haven't done so far. So I'm like, because it's about believing it, isn't it? It's like believing the new phrase. So I would like it to be something like something involving landing, grounding, peaceful, joy, like all of like that kind of energy. I'd love, because this is very on the spot right now. Yeah, I love this. Our podcasts are becoming more and more on the spot, and I love it. I love it. If it doesn't come to you right now, I want that to be the first thing in the next episode. Yes. Of what that is. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of like see whether that's something that you are able to implement and how you would go about that. Yeah. one of the ways that I do that is sometimes I'm with my daughter, and I love her. I love being with her. I can't believe how quickly she's growing up. I also really, really struggle with the fact that she wants to be touching me at every single moment.
Oh my gosh. The opposite to my daughter.
And it's almost like she wants to climb inside me. We'll be sitting on the bed watching TV, just chilling, chatting, and it's like her feet are trying to burrow their way into my legs.
Oh God, yeah, no.
At every moment. And all these things, and I'm just like, and I start telling myself, I'm feeling really overwhelmed. I can't cope with this. It's too much. Please stop touching me. I really need some space. And then I have to kind of sit there and go, these things are all true, but I am making them worse by focusing my energy on that narrative of it's too much. And the way I've started flipping it is to be like, wow, I have a daughter who wants to be with me. She wants contact with me. She is 9. At some point, she's not going to want that anymore. And I'm going to really miss this. And I'm so lucky that I have this little being in my life who wants that with me. And I have to kind of change it into that kind of like, aren't I lucky? Aren't I blessed? And actually the feeling of overwhelm just dissipates.
Wow.
And I just lean in and I'm just like, oh, cummy.
Oh, that's so beautiful.
Yeah.
And that's so powerful. Like sometimes as mums, it's not easy to do that in the moment when you're overwhelmed.
Ooh, I can feel us both getting a bit emotional.
Right on the 30-minute mark. Bye.
So yes, the power of flipping these old programs, these old stories, these internal narratives, the power of flipping them is absolutely immense. It is life-changing, and when we notice them, we can tap into them. And that's what I wanted to share today.
Thank you so much. Thank you. It's been so amazing and so helpful and so incredible to have a live session with you on air. I love the way that we both work alongside each other, but so differently. And it's just so perfect and it's so balanced. And it's just, I love it. I love it. And I appreciate your inquiry. Thank you so much.
Oh. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Oh. For those not watching, we're having a quick hug.
Which we did earlier in the car, and there was a guy waiting to get past, and he was like, I just need to get past. And I'm like, oh, sorry.
He ruined our hug. Okay, so on to the women's circle next.
Oh, yes. Off we go to hold space and sing and create prayer.
Yes. Don't forget Grace's light language course.
Oh, yes. My light language course. It's up online. It's on my website. Please go and have a look and join. Thank you.
Yes. And I have some bloody amazing new artworks that I am working on at the moment and developing. So if you follow me on social media as Bicotino Artist or Cycle Witch, please do have a look. And we would love to hear from you in comments, in messages to us if you know us directly. Does this subject today, what has this brought up for you? Is there anywhere that you've noticed that you have a internal dialogue which is not bringing the best to your life, and how are you going to change that? We really want to hear from you.
Yes.
And share us, please. Like and follow.
Comment, like, follow, share, subscribe.
Yeah. Woo! Bye.